Welcome to Conifer Tree Talk in Chicago. What is conifer? A gymnosperm where seeds are born in cone-like structures. Conifer means cone bearing. We are familiar with pines, firs, spruces, yew, cypresses, juniper. These plants fall in the category of gymnosperms. They have proceeded during evolutionary history before the flowering plants. The angiosperms came later. Previously, conifers dominated the earth vegetation. And now you are seeing unique conifer, gymnosperm. Basically this has leaves, much reduced leaves. They look like scaly leaves. And in this character, they come very close to conifer. Basically the cypresses or cypress. So this belongs to the same family, Cypresses or Cypressales. Genus is juniper. Juniperus basically. Popular name is juniper. Juniperus is distinguished from cypress by the diagnostic berries. The berry is succulent in case of junipers, but it is not succulent in case of cypress. Otherwise, from a distance they look similar. So it is also giving a look of cypress, but it is not cypress. As the berry when mature, it will be succulent one. And this particular juniper, as per label which I see here, this is Juniperus chinensis Fairview Chinese juniper from the family Cypressaceae. So you can look the immature berries on the twigs, and leaves are adpressed. They are much reduced, not more than 1 mm across, but on any branch they are closely packed. So you see, this is the arrangement of leaves which are scaly. So this is Juniperus chinensis, native to China, Asia. In Himalayas, especially in Ladakh region, we have UT of Ladakh state tree. That is also Juniperus, but that species is different. Juniperus semiglobosa. Sometimes earlier it was named as Juniperus macropoda. In local Ladakhi language, juniper is named as shukpa, and Sanskrit name for juniper is hapusha. And in highland postures, temperate postures of Kashmir, we have the creeping juniper, which is called betur in Kashmiri language. So you can say even Juniperus chinensis is chini betur, chin betur, or chini hapusha, or chini shukpa. And shukpa is sacred to Buddhists. They use the twigs of juniper during Losar celebrations, New Year celebrations, and even stands preserved in many monasteries. And there is a tradition of even sacred groves dedicated to the conservation of this particular juniper, not this one which I am focusing now. This is Juniperus chinensis, but similar looking Juniperus of Ladakh that is used as incense for religious ceremonies. Even during Hamis festival, we usually see the twigs are burnt for the sacrificial ceremonies, and during that famous Hamis mass festival. So after juniper, let us focus on another group of conifers which are familiar to us as spruces. What is the distinguishing feature of any spruce? The leaves are needle-like. They are not scaly. Unlike juniper, they are much longer and they are very sharp at the tip. Spiny nature. So its species is named as pungens, which is offensive that way, which can prick your finger. But needles are not distichous. They are not arranged dorsiventrally, rather on all sides of the twig. You see all around the twig or stem there is a growth of these needles. And needles, unlike our ABs or spruce, they are not green, but in this particular picea, which is spruce, the leaves are ashy grey, greyish white or greyish green. So this particular picea is different what we see in Kashmir or Jammu temperate forests. In Jammu or Himalayas, we have Picea smithiana, that's a Himalayan spruce. But the spruce which now I am focusing, this is Picea pungens. This is the growth of tree which seems to be 40-50 years old, and I could see these plants are also raised in the nurseries, and these plants are mostly distributed among the tree lovers who keep it, either they plant it in the courtyard or they keep it in their pots as ornamental spruce. And popular name is Colorado spruce. Basically this is Picea pungens, and you can focus on two different species of spruce. One, this is Picea pungens, greyish white color, but this one is some other Picea. Although leaves are similar, but they are green rather than white as in pungens. Picea pungens is different from another species of spruce or Picea. And this Picea, which now I am focusing, is Picea pungens Colorado blue spruce. So this color is also taken as bluish green. So it is rightly mentioned as Picea pungens Colorado blue spruce, and this also falls in the category of conifers. So it is included in the family of pines, Pinaceae. So whether we talk of EBs, whether we talk of spruce or pine, they fall in the category of conifers, the gymnosperms. So this is the campus of Lincoln Park Zoo, where apart from the very good diversity of captive animals, birds, it has also preserved and rather maintained a very good floristics, flora, whether of ornamental plants or these conifers. So another conifer, or one can say this is eastern hemlock. The common name of this plant is eastern hemlock. Here branchlets are dorsi-ventrally arranged. Leaves are also appear to be distichous, although there are few leaves on upper surface also, but mostly leaves are on left or right. And if I will focus on under surface, then these needles are flat needles. They are white beneath. So whole twig, which looks green upper surface, it is white beneath. And each flattened linear needle is not more than 2 centimeters long. And this particular eastern hemlock is botanically identified as Tsuga canadensis. And you can see the cones also on this particular plant. So you can focus on your eye on this label, which reads as Tsuga canadensis. Here you might be able to read now. This is eastern hemlock, and this is not found in India. Maybe somewhere introduced, I am not aware, but doesn't grow in wilderness. And you can see its cones are also very small in size. So this is one cone, and size is hardly 2 centimeters. So there is a cluster of many cones hanging from the branches, but they are smaller ones. And this is Tsuga canadensis, eastern hemlock, Pinaceae family member. So this also the brother of pines. Pines which we are familiar in northwestern Himalayas, and one we have the endemic pine, which is Pinus gerardiana or chilgoja. Nuts are edible. Another pine which is very common around Mansar Saroisar, that is Pinus roxburghi, cheed. And another pine which is very common in the temperate forests of Kashmir, that is Pinus wallichiana or Wallich's pine. So in pines there is a taxonomy based on the number of needles per cluster, per fascicle. So number of needles in case of Pinus roxburghi is 3, whereas in case of Pinus wallichiana, needle number is 5. In case of Pinus gerardiana, again the number is 3, like Pinus roxburghi, but in case of Pinus roxburghi, the needles are much long and they are flexible, whereas in case of Pinus gerardiana, number is 3, but they are shorter in length. Even nut-wise, we can distinguish the two species. The Pinus roxburghi nut is oval elongated and it is winged, whereas in case of Pinus gerardiana, nuts are quite long. They are much longer than width. But the conifer which I am showing here, in the backdrop of clear blue sky and a sunny day in Lincoln Zoo Park, this is eastern hemlock Tsuga canadensis, and you can appreciate even the small cones, small sized cones, not more than 2 centimeter length. They are on the twigs. It should not be confused with Picea or Abies. Rather, this is Tsuga canadensis. And now I have another unique plant here, which is not Picea, not Sapros, which is not Pinus, which is not Juniperus, but rather this is Abies. And in case of Western Himalayan Abies, which we find in Kashmir and Jammu temperate forest, that is Abies Pindro. Another species which is also reported from northwestern Himalayas is Abies spectabilis. But this Abies before me is another unique species. These needles are not hard, they are rather soft, and they are arched a little bit. They are arching, and color is bluish green, and arrangement is also different from our Abies. This particular Abies is called as white fur Abies concolor. Botanically, this has different name, Abies concolor. So this particular Abies, you can see written here as white fur Abies concolor. But this also belongs to the family of pines. That's called Pinaceae. And each needle is flattened basically, and it is more than 6 centimeters. Even some needles are approaching 7 centimeters. Length of the needle is 6-7 centimeters, rather approaching 2 inches, and even color is different. And this Abies introduced in the Lincoln Park Zoo is being preserved and cultivated here as garden ornamental Abies, Abies concolor. Although not pure white, it is greyish white, but it has been named as white fur and botanically identified as Abies concolor. After this unique group of conifers, now I will take you another very interesting gymnosperm, which is popularly named as dawn redwood. You might be familiar, redwood forests are unique to Northern America, especially California, where we have coastal redwood, for example, Sequoia sempervirens. Then we have giant redwood, which is Sequoiadendron giganteum, and we also have one giant redwood tree growing at Yarika, Tangmarg, near Gulmarg. Single tree, rather, that was planted. Otherwise, naturally, these redwood forests occur in the northeastern America, especially around California. And in fact, the largest trees on earth, they are of redwoods, giant redwood. But the one of the unique redwood which is native to China, not to America, and this was first identified or named after the study of fossils. After obtaining its fossils, this particular redwood was named as Metasequoia glyptostrobides. And after the naming and knowing that this tree existed somewhere in the ancient past, but now it is declined or it has gone extinct, some of the trees of this dawn redwood, they were discovered in China later, and now we see large-scale planting of dawn redwood all across Chicago, whether it is Navy Pier site, whether it is people's home gardens, along roadsides, whether it is a zoo, whether it is university, perhaps University of Illinois, Chicago, or it is University of Chicago, we find the plants of Metasequoia glyptostrobides. So this is the plant. What is the unique identification of this? One particular thing which is unique to Metasequoia glyptostrobides is the branchlets are opposite. It should not be confused with the U Texas, because in case of Texas, the side shoots, they grow alternately. They are never opposite. Moreover, the leaves here, they are softer. They are not hard. And another unique feature is even leaves are growing oppositely. They are born in opposite, superposed manner. So they are born in pairs, not singly. In case of Texas, whether it is Texas contorta or Texas Wallichiana or Texas brevifolia, which you find in America, the leaves or needles, they grow alternately, singly at one node. But in case of Metasequoia glyptostrobides, the dawn redwood, these leaves are growing in opposite fashion. So this is the identifying feature of the Sequoia sempervirens, popularly named as dawn redwood. So this is threatened in wilderness, but preserved in parks, gardens, streets of Chicago, as it is bearing the handsome foliage, which gives a very good look during summer, and it also has the fascinating color during fall. So this should not be confused with bald cypress, which is Taxodium distichum. In case of Taxodium, the leaves are feathery and they are not that long. In case of Metasequoia glyptostrobides, the needle-like leaves are soft and they are longer in comparison. So you can see here, they are longer as compared to Taxodium. So in Taxodium, even the opposite arrangement of branchlets is not seen. But here you will appreciate this. For example, here you can see one branch here, another there, but they are opposite, and you are able to see even the arrangements of the leaves is also opposite in Metasequoia glyptostrobides, popularly named as dawn redwood. And apart from these conifers, there is the unique pine, which is called as Pinus strobus. Even Pinus nigra is growing. Even Chemiciparis, another genus Toraya. that is also under cultivation in some locations across the Illinois, United States state. And this is the bark of dawn redwood. If you are able to see, this is summertime, and this even bark has some chocolate brown color. This is the bark of the tree, and tree is not much older. It is hardly 40-60 years old, and this is the foliage, lush green foliage at this time, a Meta Sequoia glyptostrobides. We will show you the nameplate also to confirm whether it is Meta Sequoia. Yes, it is written there, Meta Sequoia glyptostrobides, dawn redwood, cupressaceae. So its bark is also having a pinkish tinge, not exactly red, but it is a little bit pinkish brown, and twigs look like the twigs of Senegalia catechu, earlier named as Acacia catechu, that is care. So some superficial resemblance of Meta Sequoia glyptostrobides dawn redwood with the bark and twigs of care, Khadira, Acacia catechu, but this is gymnosperm. Gymnosperm means, gymnos means naked, without any covering. There is no fruit covering, no fruit formation. So gymnosperms are unique in having the naked seeds, whereas the flowering plants, trees, they have the formation of fruit from the ovary. So we can safely distinguish the two, gymnosperms and angiosperms, and evolutionarily gymnosperms preceded the angiosperms. There was a dominance of gymnosperms during Mesozoic era, right from Carboniferous. After the pteridosperms, they declined, then gymnosperms arose. But in the Cenozoic era, the dominance of gymnosperms declined, and now we see these conifers or other gymnosperms are restricted to mostly temperate habitat, the boreal forests or the temperate forests where there is a snowfall. But still we find some plants in Africa also, tropical region, that is Welwitschia. Welwitschia mirabilis is unique to Angola, which has only 2 leaves, and throughout life only 2 leaves they remain with the plant, which is having the turnip-like taproot, and only 2 thick leathery 2-3 meter long leaves. And Welwitschia mirabilis is unique gymnosperm kept under ephedrales, and in Ladakh we have Ephedra intermedia, locally called as Shepat in Ladakhi language. Apart from Ephedra, another unique angiosperm-like gymnosperm is seen in South India, rainforests of Karnataka and Western Ghats, that is Neetum Neeman, Neetum Ulla. They have the oval opposite leaves, and from a distance it looks like some angiosperm. But on closer look, if you come across the cones, male cones and female cones, you will see the architecture is of gymnosperm pattern, gymnosperm type. And they are rather considered as the link between gymnosperms and angiosperms. While visiting the Chicago famous Field Museum on Natural History, I could see how meticulously Welwitschia mirabilis, Aphidra species and Neetum, Neeman and Neetum ulla stands preserved. Rather, they are models and they look exactly like the natural plant which we see in the forest, in the wilderness. So this gymnosperm before me is the dawn redwood, Kleptostrobus, Metasquia, Kleptostrobides. So let us preserve and nurture these ancient group of plants and stop desertification as per the theme of World Environment Day, as this is also the year of 30 years completion of Convention on combating the desertification. So we need restoration of our native habitats where such kind of trees, Metasquia, Kleptostrobides, is preserved in the natural habitat. Neetum neema, Neetum ulla is preserved in its natural habitat. Even Welwitschia mirabilis is preserved. There is another conifer which is called as Western hemlock. Eastern hemlock we have just discussed, Tsuga canadensis, but there is another one. And another one is Western red cedar. So there is a lot of diversity even among pines also. Many pines, Pinus longiva is considered one of the oldest tree on earth. And there are many other, loblolly pine. It takes a lot of time to visit such areas where we see the natural habitat of these conifers. But we can take our students and kids to the location like zoo or botanical garden, where such trees, if they are preserved there, they can be shown to the younger generation so that they become aware these trees need special conservation efforts, special respect as they preceded even the human beings. Their evolution is much older than a Homo sapiens.